Welcome back, everybody, to the Prayin and Slayin Podcast, the official podcast of Light the Fire Outdoors. And let me just start off by saying this is not going to be your normal episode. We've had so much going on behind the scenes here over the last 6 months that I wanted to do a quick pit stop on the Prayin and Slayin Podcast and just give you guys an update on what's been going on and some really exciting things that we've got coming down the pike here for the future of Prayin and Slayin and expanding Prayin and Slayin and Light the Fire Outdoors as well. Some just really cool stuff that I didn't know was coming when we started this thing back here at the beginning of this year. But we're here now, and I guess that's part of God's path, man. We don't always see what's coming, but when we see the door, we walk through it and just know in faith that if He put it there and put it on our plate, it's probably something worth doing, and that's what we're trying to tackle here. So, man. First and foremost, I just want to give an update on Light the Fire Outdoors. So we started our own solo venture here about November of last year, 2024, and went full-time with our, part-time full-time with our very first Light the Fire Outdoors business partner, Dead Nuts Outdoors. They're a 2D target company out of Montana, Washington, 100% made in the U.S. And just, man, the Daniels family is very quickly became part of our family, and us part of theirs, and just going to be more excited about where these guys are headed and in the direction they're going, and man, the growth that they've seen since we've started our partnership. So just wanted to give a couple highlights. You know, one of the things I love to do in the outdoor industry is work in the conservation space. Obviously, it's a part of Prayin and Slayin. We got Operation Conservation, where we bring people in the conservation space in to share hunting stories and talk about what they do. But it's just fun, man, and it's one of the things I signed with those guys to help them build is conservation partnerships. And I'm excited to say that we've already kicked off 4 of these bad boys here in the last year, and more to come. We've touched base with so many, had some great conversations, and Minnesota Deer Hunters Association was actually the very first partner that we signed for the Dead Nuts guys. And got some really exciting things coming to the Minnesota Deer Hunters Association banquets this fall. So if you're out there in Minnesota listening, make sure you hit up one of those MDHA banquets, and you're going to see some really cool custom stuff from Dead Nuts there. And man, the mission behind that is supporting their forkhorn camps. So one of the things Minnesota Deer Hunters Association does is they put on forkhorn camps to get youth through all different stages of youth, all the way from little kids who are just starting to think about hunting, all the way up to kids in high school, and they graduate through a few different series of camps there. But they put these camps on, get kids introduced to hunting, teach them how to be ethical hunters, get them excited about the outdoors. They sometimes get some gear and swag from partner companies, things like that. But one of the cool things they get to do is learn in an unmatched, realistic way with Dead Nuts targets now through their Vital X technology, shot placement on an animal, anatomy of an animal, on literally the most real targets that you can find out there. So a great education tool, great partnership, just a great overall fit. Excited to be partners with those guys. They're also national partners now with Whitetails Unlimited. That's a big one. We've got a long history here at Light the Fire Outdoors with Whitetails Unlimited in general. And we got those guys linked up there as well. And again, some custom stuff coming to some fall and spring banquets for you guys that are in the Whitetails Unlimited space. Make sure you get out there to those banquets, and you can support Dead Nuts and the Kids on Target program through Whitetails Unlimited by getting your chance to get a custom whitetail package from Dead Nuts Outdoors through your Whitetails Unlimited banquet. So that's a really cool one as well. And if you're at one of these events, through their event annual magazine, it's a magazine that goes out to every member that attends the Whitetails Unlimited banquet. There is a centerfold target in the center of that magazine, and Dead Nuts actually provides the target inside of there. So you're going to get another opportunity to get a target just by showing up. Go grab your magazine, unfold that centerfold, pull that target out, take it home. And Dead Nuts is doing some really cool stuff there with engagement, and you guys can actually show off you or the little one and their opportunity to shoot at that target when they get home. So just some really cool stuff there. And then we just kicked off Arizona Mule Deer Organization. Partnership with those guys. Again, another custom package from Dead Nuts Outdoors, and they're going to be supporting their youth camps. Again, just you can't find a better education tool for shot placement, for anatomy on a life-size realistic 2D target than you can with Dead Nuts. And so they're going to be integrating these into their youth hunting camps, where guys and gals and little ones are going to be learning how to glass and find animals in the field. Great opportunity to do that especially when you're looking for a mule deer in sagebrush country. That can be really tough. So they've got some mule deer and whitetails going out there to those camps. And then they've got, again, custom packages coming to their Arizona Mule Deer Organization events. And fun fact, they just kicked off their very first conservation event this year utilizing a Dead Nuts target. They got their last banquet in for the year here on the 28th of June, and excited to say they raised 520 some bucks on a Dead Nuts custom Arizona Mule Deer organization package, the Sonora and Monarch package. So custom, one of a kind. You can only get it at these events, and one lucky winner did take that home. And then as of literally today, super excited, when I'm recording this episode, I just got done filling out the DocuSign. Dead Nuts is partnering in a really cool way with the Rocky Mountain Goat Alliance. It's a big establishment around this country, getting populations established where they haven't been, so there's more opportunities for hunters, understanding the populations that are out there in the places that they are native in ways that hasn't really been done or focused on before. And Rocky Mountain Goat Alliance is really doing some awesome things just to make sure that there is a future for mountain goats and mountain goat hunters around the country. And Dead Nuts is going to be supporting these guys with one of the coolest partnerships I've been a part of. So I'm so excited to get that launched and get that going. But the ink is drying on that piece of paper right now, so that's really fresh off the press. And then we've launched a dealer program through those guys as well. There's dealers signing up all over the country, so if you're a website shopper, great, but if you've got a local pro shop, there's a really good chance that Dead Nuts targets are going to be in those doors here soon. And just excited to see the dealers getting a lot of awesome customer engagement at the shop, shooting at the shop targets, and then walking out the door with their own Dead Nuts target through their local pro shop. So to support those small businesses, get out there. Dead Nuts has a dealer program now, and things are really heating up around there. And then just all around, man, just doing a lot of great work with these guys, and just I couldn't be more proud that these were the first people I got to partner with of Light the Fire Outdoors. Man, it's been super cool and a huge blessing. Like I said, the Daniels family, you can't find better people, and just so excited to be partnered with those guys. So yeah, man, that's an honor to be a part of that, and just excited to give those guys a shout out. We do have some new opportunities coming up as well through some other potential partnerships that might be shaking out. So we might do another update episode when those ones launch. But as of right now, Dead Nuts is where it's at, and we are kicking butt. They are kicking butt, and it's been a lot of fun. And with that, more new stuff coming from Prayin and Slayin, man. So one of the bigger reasons I wanted to take a second and just do an update episode here is we've had a lot of growth with inside this podcast in ways that I never thought would even happen. And sometimes when you step out on God's path, you're just not really sure where you're going. You just felt called to do it. And I feel like some of the stuff we're getting ready to jump into here is 100% testimony to that. But we are getting ready to launch what's going to be called Operation Trailhead. So you guys are familiar with Operation Hunt. That's where we bring on veterans from around the country. We just talk about their military career, learn a little bit about them, and then dive into a good old hunting story from those guys. We have Operation Conservation. Again, that's where we dive in and we talk to people that work inside that conservation outdoors industry from different conservation groups, learn about them, learn about the orgs, and then of course share an awesome hunting story around whatever animal they happen to be attached to. And then now we are getting ready to launch Operation Trailhead. And I'm so excited about this. This one's a little bit more personal for me. And what you guys can expect from Operation Trailhead episodes are going to be more short form. They're going to be solo. It's going to be me on the mic. And I'm going to be sharing something that God's put on my heart in a short form message to get out to you guys with the hope that it encourages somebody, or maybe it reaches somebody with something that you're going through that I've been through. And just God's got a way of building his community through people just being vulnerable and sharing some stuff. And that's what this is all about. So these are things that, a lot of them are going to be tied to some kind of adventure outing I've had where I just had a chance to get quiet, hear God, and just, him fix my heart in some way and just give me some kind of a message that I feel called to get out there, get recorded, and put out there into the world. And hopefully it reaches another person and inspires somebody else to be better. Maybe it inspires somebody else or helps them in a way or hits them in a space that they needed help with and they just really didn't know what they needed to hear until they hear it. I get those moments all the time just by talking to people, and that's what I hope that this turns into and what I think God's trying to do with it. So those ones, again, a little bit more short form. It will be me solo, Operation Trailhead. It'll be me 5 to 20 minutes depending on the topic, but we're just going to be diving deep and getting vulnerable and putting some stuff out there. And those ones are going to be scheduled, I think, in between all of these other Operation Hunt, Operation Conservation, and Operation Campfire podcasts. So those ones are currently bi-weekly. This could turn into a weekly episode, but just trying to keep things fresh right now. Got a handful of episodes in the bank. So we'll see how they get scheduled. But anyway, those are coming and I'm excited about it. It's a big step, I feel like, in my own personal journey, personal growth, faith growth, and just something I'm excited to get out there and get started. And God's been pushing me to do it, so here we are. We're on the mic talking about it. I'm putting myself to the test, dropping it now that you guys can be expecting those moving forward, and we'll get some of those recorded for you and get them out there. Really excited about that. And so that's the Prayin and Slayin Podcast, new edition. Again, one of those things, I did not see this unfolding. I started getting some ideas about it when we were kind of 3-4 months deep into this podcast journey. But then, man, I started talking to some buddies, and you guys know John from the very early days of the Prayin and Slayin Podcast. John Landris, my buddy Justin Wilson, he was on Operation Hunt, Goalpost. These guys are just outstanding individuals, and they both have some really, really cool ideas for podcasts. They've got awesome stories to share. And man, at the end of the day, it said, hey, you know what? We could probably expand the Prayin and Slayin Podcast. I don't know if we've got enough room in this house for all these ideas, but what we could do is start a network. And so I'm so pumped to announce that we are launching the Prayin and Slayin Podcast Network, and we are officially kicking off here in the month of July, the very first episode from our very first podcast partner in the Prayin and Slayin Podcast Network. And the podcast is going to be called Hunting the Frontlines with none other than Justin Wilson. So Justin Wilson is inspired to start his own podcast just by being a part of the Prayin and Slayin Podcast, and him and I talking and bouncing ideas. And he's a retired Army veteran who at the end of the day just lives, breathes, eats, sleeps hunting. He's got a huge heart for helping out veterans and a bigger heart for hunting and all the cool places we get stationed. So Hunting the Frontlines is the very first Prayin and Slayin Podcast Network podcast that will get launched, and it is all about all the cool places that we get stationed as military personnel, whether it's in the States, overseas, whatever. He's going to have guests on from all over the country, all walks of life, all different branches, and they're going to be talking about the hunting experiences they had in the different places they were stationed, whether that's on base, which is a big part of the podcast. Actually hunting different military installations is a really cool part about being in the military or being part of that veteran community. Just a privilege you get, and a lot of times it can be tough to navigate. So Justin's goal is to make a one-stop shop resource through this podcast for all the different things that it takes to hunt on base. But you get a place like Montana. We spent 5 years there. We can't hunt on posts and military installations up in Montana, but Montana's got more hunting opportunities than you could probably do in a lifetime. So he's going to have people on as well who've just hunted in the different states and talk about that and the public land opportunities and the things that you can expect when you get stationed somewhere. So hopefully here in the not so distant future, there will be enough episodes recorded where if you're in the military and you're getting stationed somewhere, or maybe you're a veteran who's just living in a state and you're ready or taking that veteran leap, retiring out of the military, and you're looking for a place to settle down, you can check out the podcast, search for the different places you may or may be going or may want to go try to hunt. And Justin will have a guest on there to walk you guys through everything you need to know about hunting in those places. So really, really cool. And that'll just expand into some crazy places. It's going to be an awesome podcast. So stoked to be having that one come on. And then John Landris brought him up as well. He's got one of the craziest work schedules, being a heavy machine operator, so very seasonal work. But when he gets some time to settle in, he's going to be kicking off a podcast as well. They'll be part of the network. Anyway, super pumped for him to get started. We'll keep some of that in the bag for now, but I'm putting it out there more than anything to say, John, let's go, buddy. Let's get it done. Come on, let's go. But anyway, both those guys, looking forward to having them on the Prayin and Slayin Podcast Network and expanding this thing that we've got going, and just having some really cool dudes who have some awesome stories, awesome personalities, be out there and just get to share their stories and bring other people, other community, people from the outdoors community inside the podcast network, and just share some awesome stories to make people better hunters and outdoorsmen. So that'll be launching here in July. So anywhere you can find the podcast, it'll also be on the Light to Fire Outdoors YouTube channel for Hunting the Frontlines. Go check it out. So pumped for Justin. We're going to have a launch episode so you guys can learn a little bit more. That's me and Justin talking about what it's going to be. And then we've got his very first episode I'll actually be editing again right after I get done recording this one. I'm going to be editing Justin's very first episode, which is all about the state of Indiana and Camp Atterbury in particular, and then public land in Indiana as well, Justin's home turf. He's got an awesome guest on there, and I'll let you guys listen to the podcast to catch the rest. I don't want to spoil everything. So with that, guys, I don't want to say anything here lightly, but I just want to give it to you straight. You know, when I started this podcast, I had no idea where it was going. I didn't have a roadmap, just a fire in my heart and a call to show up and ultimately put in the microphone whatever God was giving me with this thing. And now we're here. We're a growing podcast. We're launching a podcast network. We're kicking butt with Light to Fire Outdoors and our partnerships with Dead Nuts Outdoors, making a huge impact in that conservation space, man. And this is just it's all bigger than me. It's all bigger than what I expected this to be when I felt called to do it, and it's just getting cool. And I really wanted to just say thank you to every single person who hops on here and listens, or anybody that likes our posts, anybody who shopped at Light to Fire Outdoors for the gear. Again, all that stuff goes back to our veterans and conservation mission wherever we're stationed, and it's getting cool. And I just want to say thank you guys so much, and give you guys a shout out, and just give you guys an update on what's going on here. And just want to say too, it's just getting started, man. If there's anything I've learned over the past 6 months with this, about the time I think I've got an idea figured out, it's God's saying, okay, there's another step, let's go. So he's not done yet. I don't know where it's all going, but I know it's making some big leaps and bounds, and this is getting exciting. Man, so if you're listening today and you're in that trailhead moment, unsure, overwhelmed, maybe you're doubting your steps, I just want to encourage you guys to push through it and just stay focused on being the best person you can be. Stay focused through that lens of faith, that at the end of the day, we live in a crazy world, but God's got it under control, and keep grinding, keep driving through it. The word grind gets thrown out a lot, and I'm learning a lot too, that sometimes there's a lot of power in just staying put where you're at, taking a deep breath, looking up and saying, okay, like, God, I'm here. What do you need? And that's part of leaning into it too. So the grind sometimes means staying where you're at, staying focused, getting refocused, taking some time to take a breath and say, okay, like I don't need to have control over this because God's got it. So just want to encourage you guys to do that as well. And it might not always make sense right now, but down the road, you'll look back and say, well, right there, that's the moment it all started. So thanks for checking in with us, guys. Thank you for listening again. Mid-year check-in complete. Let's get after the rest of 2025, and we are going to be on a road to bring you guys some more awesome content. And thank you again so much. And as always, keep praying and slaying.